Local limousine company is under fire tonight for failing to deliver some satisfied customers.
Well, when those customers went in search of answers, they couldn't find the company. WHAS 11's Andy Trinan went searching for them in tonight's I-Team investigation.
I got a feeling that tonight's gonna be a good night.
It's the finishing touch on what's supposed to be the perfect day. Kristen Hernstrom ordered a limousine for Kentucky Derby 134.
They showed up 45 minutes late, and they were in a cargo van, and it was dirty and stained and smelly.
She was stuck in the car.
Jennifer Redmond hired Ground Transport Limo Services for a bachelorette party.
And I mean, we're skidding on the gravel, and he turns around and he says, "Get your MF feet off of my limo and sit down and shut the F up."
We thought we would be, responsible and taken care of. And
Hannah Graham says the company abandoned her and her friends at 4th Street Live.
they picked us up, drove us maybe 5 or 6 blocks, and kicked us out.
Kicked you out of the limo?
Yes, told us to get out.
The Better Business Bureau has 20 customer complaints against the company that uses several names. Our simple online search found about 20 more complaints.
Scam users beware.
The Better Business Bureau says the company isn't even licensed to transport customers in the state of Kentucky.
They have an F rating with the BBB under Affordable Limo, under Ground Transport Services, and under Ground Transport Limo Services.
This Louisville address is listed online for ground transport.
Calculating route.
We decided to check it out. If 2023 West Chestnut exists, it's under this intersection right here. Check it out. That's the 2100 block of Chestnut right there. You cross the intersection and then you find the first address in the 2000 block, and it's 2015. So the bottom line is, if we can't find these people, how are you going to?
I want to go look at some of their limos. Where should I go?
I have no idea.
We got a tip from a former driver that the owners lived at this address in Clarksville, Indiana. And this Google Earth image shows a couple of limousines in the driveway. I left a card when no one answered, and I got a call back from a man who says he's the new owner of the home. He claims he bought the home in October after the previous owner lost it in foreclosure.
Hi, this is Andy Trinan from WHAS 11 Television in Louisville, Kentucky, and I'm calling because I need to speak with the owners or the operators of the business.
We have made repeated attempts to reach the owner through the limo's answering service, but so far they haven't called back.
I was really scared.
We're not the only ones looking for them.
It was maybe the worst bachelorette party ever.
Jennifer Redmond says she's been hung up on every time she's called since late 2008.
I want them to go out of business.
When she and her friends were dumped at a Waffle House in Clarksville, Indiana at 3 a.m., miles from their home.
And he pulled over and he literally screamed, cursing, "Everybody get out now." And we said, what's going on? Why aren't you taking us home? And he said, "I'm just not going all the way out there. I don't feel like taking you guys home. Just get out of the car now."
Here are some indicators that you might be about to be taken for a ride. If the company charges cash up front for service, buyer beware. Hiring a limo service without an address is a stretch. Don't deal with companies that double and triple book cars, and never make your entire plan contingent on the word of a limo dispatcher.
Upon arrival, we found about 25, 30 other angry customers all standing outside the Dairy Queen waiting for a ride home from the same company.
Kristen Hernstrom never did get her Derby Day limo ride, and she knows a $480 refund isn't realistic. Like so many others, she'd like to see ground transport grounded.
I want to see their doors closed, definitely.
I was disappointed that the company is still in business and has done this to so many people.
Andy Trinan, WHAS 11 News.
Now, since we started our news promotions for this story here on the air, we have received a number of calls from customers, including one that alerted us of a fourth name that the company is apparently using now. So in our Consumer Watch here Wednesday, we're going to also be looking and talking to a woman whose wedding was ruined Saturday night. And we'll be talking to the president of the Louisville Limousine Association about what she calls a heavily regulated but poorly enforced industry. That's right here on Wednesday night at 5:30.
Now, the First Alert Storm Team Forecast. Certified Kentuckiana's most accurate.
Yep, feeling like summer with temperatures in the mid to the upper 80s, and we found one pool that is open. Sky 11 flying over the Providence pool, which is now open. Reed Yaden has a very difficult job, and I really hope those young people remember their sunscreen. It's very sunny out there. We don't want any
fledgling, a candidate was replaced today as campaign manager by Jesse Benton, who is
iTunes from Apple is the most popular way to buy music online, but now it's under a federal investigation. The New York Times is reporting that the U.S. Justice Department is investigating Apple's tactics. Investigators are looking into allegations that Apple uses its dominant market position to persuade music labels to refuse to give Amazon.com exclusive access to soon-to-be-released music. Apple is not commenting on the accusations.
Another down day on Wall Street sends the Dow closing below the 10,000 mark. Courtney Donahoe has all the details in the Bloomberg After the Bell report. Dozens of calls and emails after our I-Team investigation on Monday night that uncovered a limousine company operating outside of the law right here in Kentuckiana. WHAS 11's Andy Trinan has been following up, and in tonight's Consumer Watch, he tells us how to spot a fraud.
It was dirty and stained and smelly.
2 days before our investigative report into an illegal limousine company, Deanna Martinez hired Above the Clouds limo to drive her to an 11 a.m. wedding.
It was supposed to be like my perfect day, and it wasn't.
The limo didn't show up until 11:20 a.m.
I wanted to close down and make them have to pay everybody back for what they ruined for them.
Deanna called us on Tuesday. Together we matched phone numbers from Above the Clouds to the company in our report. Deanna's sister says the whole experience was a nightmare.
I mean, they were just slamming on the brakes. They were just driving all crazy.
After tips from viewers, former drivers, and legitimate limo companies, we've learned that the husband-wife team at the center of our investigation is using several different business names, including Affordable Limo, Ground Transport Limo Services, Above the Clouds Limo Service, All-Star Limo Service, Portable Limo Service, and John's Limousine. Okay, got it. Now, obviously there are a number of legitimate and very good limousine companies in the city of Louisville. The president of the Kentucky Limousine Association tells me that this is a very regulated industry. It's just poorly enforced.
And the general public will assume, because you're in the limousine business, that surely somebody is watching over you, when in fact they're not.
Fieldhouse points to the yellow pages, where there are 22 limo companies advertising in Louisville. Less than half are licensed through the state.
I was delighted to see that the story was on the air because this type of behavior from poorly operated limousine companies needs to be exposed.
Stickers, license plates, and numbers indicate federal, state, city, and airport compliance. Drivers with valid chauffeur's permits have had criminal background checks, license checks, and etiquette training.
They should operate like a maitre d' at a fine restaurant,
making the frauds easy to sniff out.
Get your MF feet off of my limo and sit down and shut the F up.
Here's a website to make sure that when you're taken for a ride, you're not taken for a ride.
That's the homepage of the Kentucky Limousine Association, and on that page we have helpful tips, things to watch out for, and not only that, but we have a listing of all of the qualified members of limousine companies that are authorized to operate in the state of Kentucky.
It could be the difference between the perfect wedding and this.
She said, give me your damn credit card, and try to like grab my credit card and everything out of my hand.
Andy Trinan, WHAS 11 News.
Certainly some good information there. Well, that's it for us here at 5:30. The news continues right now at 6 with Doug and Melissa.
Thank you very much, Renee. And right now, tonight on the 6 o'clock news, a well-known U of L basketball player at the center of an investigation.